All right, we're on day 122. All right, so let's jump right into it. So, where's the headspace at? Honestly, excellent. And the reason I say that is because as you get further and further along the journey, good things just start to happen. It's really crazy. The more I think about it, it's small things, but you also know you've been doing the work for years and you're finally starting to see like the results of that. But the way it manifests is you can't even, like, even if you think about it, the way it'll manifest, it's like it's how you wanted it to, but it's not exactly. But it's better. Crazy stuff, I tell you. See, for me, I'm not sure what title the video yet, but in this video, I want to talk about something and that's the thing. We all know, right? Everyone knows, don't goon, don't watch porn, don't do these things, work out, eat right. But genuinely now, I feel that there is like a multitudes of levels of understanding. The way I would explain it, it's almost as if you have the base level, right? Like, let's say, okay, we know proteins like the most satiating macronutrient or whatever. And then carbs are usually for pre-workout or post-workout fuel. But then there's like a level on top of that, which is hard to explain in words. The easiest way I would explain it, it's really just rest in understanding, like, wow, the diet, the gym, the SR, that's the holy trinity, almost like the Father, the Holy Spirit, like literally, not that equivalent, literally, but it's arguably, I think, as important for dudes, because without that, you're cooked. Like, if one of those are lacking, you're cooked. I'm telling you, because if you just work out, but you goon and don't eat right, there's no point in going to the gym. And this is something that's really like stuck in my head. And it's why it's so rewarding when done properly, like genuinely properly with intent. Because a lot of us, we've been working out, we'll eat right some of the time, but not all the time. And this is why currently the new me is thinking, okay, so moderation, that shit's a trap. Like, that shit it's a form of cope, honestly. Because for me now, it's very easy to eat the same meals over and over and over again because my standards are like just that high. Like, if you think, oh, you want to eat caramel cookies and goy slop and a bunch of goofy stuff, it's fine. You can do that. Standards are just too low. But you can't really be lean and do those things. You got to earn that right. And that's what I'm starting to understand now too. Even me, it's I haven't earned the right yet to cheat. I haven't been locked in long enough to do that. There's no crumble cookie until you're locked in and lean, and you maybe on like 180 days plus, or you got all these things, like you've built enough merit. But the problem is when we try to deviate from what we're supposed to do before, like too prematurely, then that's where the problems start, and we kind of fall in this trap. Because for me, it's like, wow, like, yeah, the next couple of months, it's the same meals over and over and over again. Working out the same time early, waking up early. I recognize now this shit has to it's got to become like breeding. Like, you know how, perfect example, like how Goku and Vegeta train in the hyperbolic time chamber. You have to get to a point where all these things that we think are difficult, you're doing, and it's like you're on Earth's normal gravity, even though it's times 100, but you've been training for so long, your body has gotten accustomed to it. Because I think that's where the real power stems from. Like, you do all these things, but you do it so effortlessly, and it just bleeds in the other aspects of your life. Like, generally, I cannot stress enough, men, women, whoever is watching this, take the health shit seriously. Because it's something I've been doing for years, but especially now, I take it more seriously than ever, because without that, you're cooked. You are cooked. Like, you can't even compete, right? Because remember, SR, the gym, that allows you to basically participate in the race. But what you're gonna find is when you have those two things down packed, you're so far ahead of most other people. Like, oh guys, I can't even, like, at work, oh my God, like, I was offered like gummy worms today, and I was like, nah, I'm good, thanks though. But I didn't even think, maybe one wouldn't hurt. I didn't even get that thought anymore, because the old me would have been like, maybe one is fine. I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm so good. No go slop, like, because I'll see it too. Like, they'll know how their pen constant snacking, like 2 Coca-Colas. I'm just like, damn, like it's like I'm telling you guys, it's the bar is low. The bar is very low. The bar is very low. And the reason I record these videos, because I encourage everyone to start this journey, take your health seriously, all this stuff. But really just know, like, you're probably already in the 1%. You're not cognizant of it, but you probably already are in the 1%. It just hasn't been done long enough so where it's manifested in the way you think. But if you're eating the same meals, working out genuinely 4 to 5 times a week, you're already in 1%. And if you're tracking and doing the other stuff, then all the more power to you. But that's how you really start to separate yourself. And honestly, this might sound kind of crazy, but there's truths to both. But the gym's probably more important than SR, honestly. Because for me, I wouldn't be at this point unless I worked out consistently for years. Because what you gain from that merit of, oh, I can commit to something for long term. And I feel like with most men, that's going to start with the gym and not SR. Because for me, the journey was very different. I've talked about this in other videos, but I never had a gooning problem. That was never an issue for me. It was really once in a blue moon. And the reason I know I wasn't is because when I talked to my friends, like, oh, wow, like, this is like, oh, we just do this for bored. It was never like that for me. Now, what I noticed is when I started to get like really aligned, like the end of 2025, into 2026, I was already retaining like intuitively just from being in like this aligned state and just being busy and not having shit to do. On a relapse one time from some dumb shit, I'm like, oh my God, never fucking again. But yeah, I've been that's why we're on day 122 since that. But if not for that relapse, I would have been on fucking 180 plus. But it's fine. You live and you learn. But I at the time just didn't. Oh, I was doing it, but I didn't know. Like I actually didn't know I was retaining until after that relapse. Because I think after I relapsed, I was like, okay, let me. It's crazy. The algorithm just kind of blessed me because it kind of popped up. But when I started watching SR content, it wasn't much. I was like, oh, okay, like this seems very important. And I'm aligned enough now to understand it, you know? Like if anyone, you know, if you read the Bible or whatever, King Solomon, the Buddha too, they really talk about, even if you study like ancient like yogi, like in India and stuff like that, they'll talk about how like to abstain from those things is like, it's important, especially lust. That's really the downfall of all. I'm like, if you master lust, you conquer everything. And I think that's why retention is so powerful. I guess it's the ultimate amplifier because it's very difficult to do. Even people that are successful, and this is why, for me, I think the most important goal it should be like self mastery. You know, union with the divine, like having complete control over your mind and body. You know, it's that whole Socrates quote. You know, it's a shame to grow old without knowing the strength and beauty. Excuse me, which your body is capable of. And for me, it's why I started like, okay, I'm gonna get leaner because a lot of us, we have muscle, but we're so fat. Not like fat, but you guys know what I mean. But when you see what's underneath that, and for me, it was interesting because when I think about it, I was like, do I bulk? Do I cut? I've been bulking for so long. But ultimately, what made me decide, okay, I'm gonna cut is because I haven't done that before, and I know that's harder because bulking. Well, one could argue it depends on the person. Bulking, you know, for me, it was very difficult. So cutting's likely a lot easier now because I'm just naturally, you know, leaner. But for me, it's more so, okay, you have to restrict yourself with food and you have to basically starve maxing. So I would argue cutting's generally going to be harder, especially I imagine like sub 12%. That's why like I'm going to do it. And for me, I love retention so much because you run towards discomfort. I'm like, oh, I want to cut now because like, oh, that's difficult. I want to keep pushing myself, keep challenging myself. That mama mentality, like job's not finished. Keep going. Like I'm gonna keep doing difficult stuff because eventually when people start to call you crazy, like I remember like I'm at work, I'm just talking to my coworkers and I'm telling them like, oh, I do like, you know, everyone's talking about like the weight they're doing. I'm like, oh, I do like 85 still on incline. And I'm thinking, oh, that's like, oh, those are the numbers I do. I'm like, that's probably like normal, but they're like, what the fuck? There's no way. Like, you're lying. I'm like, oh, okay. For that interaction, I was like, oh, okay. Like, as you start to separate some more and more, yeah, you will probably get crazy like that. People going to think you're lying or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. This is new. But that means you're doing something right. Like if people are calling you, let me tell you the easiest way, guys. If people are like, oh, that's boring. You just eat the same meals every day, or you don't really go out. Oh, that's pretty boring. I could never. Okay, I mean, I didn't actually do it. Like I do it because like I get to. Like I want to do it because my thing isn't the pleasure. Like no, like I'm good. Like that's not where growth is. You don't grow from pleasure. You grow from discomfort. So I'd rather seek that. It's a lot harder to wake up early, work out, than to like sleep in, not work out. So I'd rather do the harder thing. And I think that's why I've been like not lonely. Like I feel like as the days go up and up, I'll kind of fluctuate like this. I'll say my thoughts, but very quickly I get like stable. It's almost like your blood sugar. It'll go up and down when you eat, and then it gets stable back to the point. But I think it's really important that you meditate, retain, of course, work out, do all these things because it keeps you like this. And this is where like sometimes some dudes, man, I'm telling you, like if you're crashing out, you're shouting, it's the most feminine thing you can do. Not to make this a whole masculine, feminine thing, but honestly, like you gotta check yourself. If you're crashing out, shouting, like that's some bitch shit. I'm sorry. Like you can't even sugarcoat it. Because like dudes, like you can't do that. You gotta be this pillar. It's not to say you can't cry. Now, some people might debate you on that, but me, I'm like, honestly, you probably shouldn't. You should be the last person that's crying. I'd argue not to say you can't cry, but you gotta be the pillar. It's important to be that pillar. And that's why it's important that we keep and honor the commitments to ourselves. So if you say, oh, I'm gonna work out today, you got to do it, because if you don't, now it's like you have these two identities. Because lately, some of the interactions I've had, it might be better, honestly, if the person was just like, you know what, I don't want it. I don't want to do it. Like, I'd rather just be fat than to like somewhat want it, but then not really do it, or let's go halfway. And I thought it was toxic. I'm like, no, it's not toxic. The standards was too low. You want to be like all in. Okay, it's either I'm gonna hit the gym consistently 5 days a week for years, or I'm not gonna go at all. Like, why does there have to be an in between? And it's crazy because I never thought like all the balance. That's some bitches. I'm like, honestly, it's nah. You gotta lock. There's a time and place for that, but the more as I retain that masculine drive comes back, I'm just like, no, that's some bitch shit. No, like we can't, you can't do that. Oh, it's okay. You missed one session. It's fine. Like, no, you have to really check yourself. If you make a commitment, you don't honor it. And I'm starting to rest in that more and more and more. Like, it's been a very good week because everything I said I was going to do for Monday, I've done. For my step goal, I've tracked my calories. I've done all these things. And it's been very easy because I have enough merit of doing other things that are similar. And a lot of us, we have, and if you're struggling, just think, okay, if you're fat, you have the merit of consistently doing something. It just wasn't good for you, but you still have, you still have been dedicated and consistent at just being a big back. See, that's not a bad thing. We just have to redirect that into another direction, right? Like fucking Zuko, when he's redirecting Leiden to shoot it somewhere else. Okay, instead of shooting at the crumble, let's shoot it into the gym or eating better food. I forgot where I think it was Alex Hormozi kind of talked about you're already consistent, just at the wrong things. So you just have to redirect it and then boom, you'll be good. I like that because it makes a lot of sense. But man, there's just certain things I just cannot do now. And this is funny. In my dreams, right? I had a video where I talked about how like kind of got attacked by succubus. I still get those dreams, but now it's like the girl or demon were trying to do something. And I'm just like, bitch, get off me. And I literally like, it's always in a car too. I don't know why it's always in like the back of a car, but I just like shoved them off me. And then shortly I wake up. I'm like, no, fuck this shit. Like, you're not worth the relapse. As long as you rest in the understanding of how important this stuff is, I think that's really the key in doing it consistently, because it's life or death. If I don't hit my protein goal, if I don't do these things, it's not just, oh, it's fine, I can make for it tomorrow. Like, no, it was commitment against myself, which means I'm not honoring God. I'm not seeking the kingdom, and I've strayed further than self-mastery. And I think that's a pretty big consequence. I don't want to stray further from that, I want to get towards that point sooner than later because there's a sense of urgency in my mind now. So I got to lock in. Like, we have to do these things. So I'll say to everyone, continue to retain. It is a lonely journey, but that's why I make these videos. So at least, there are other people doing it, because the journey will get lonely as you recognize less and less people are serious about it. Like, they'll do it, but they're not, you'll recognize they're not there because it's always going to show in action. It's always going to show in actions. The only reason you relapse is because you don't recognize how important this shit is. So I genuinely think it's life and death. And certain people are probably going to tell you, oh, it's fine. You can relapse. It's okay. No, your standards are too low. Because the only time you should relapse is if someone you genuinely think is worth it. But you're still retaining. You're still increasing your vibration. It's not high enough where you even have the thought process or the ability to sense if that person's worth it. So I just would retain. I wouldn't even risk it. I'm like, it's not worth it. The shit I do in the gym now, that I don't need caffeine. I can operate off of 6 hours of sleep. Of course, still prioritize 8 or 9, at least 7, but I can get away with less because I've been retaining for so long. And I never had when I went into this, I never had a set days to reach because it's not really about the days. You just want to make the days count. But at least from what I understand, the science, I believe 6 months is where your hormones, prolactin, all that stuff has been thoroughly reset. And I think I'm getting pretty close to that point now, I would say, which is pretty cool because it makes you a lot calmer. So it's going to make you move different in the gym and even at work, which is a good thing. You're going to get all these benefits because, again, it's so difficult. It's the ultimate heavy restriction for anyone that's seen JJK. You're giving up a lot, even though I guess you're not born with it, so it's not heavy restriction. But you guys know what I mean. You get the point. Or I would say 100 might be a better example of that. Regardless, I sacrifice all my future potential. Just let me max out right now so I can beat the shit out of fucking Pito. Fire moment, by the way. But that's basically what you're doing with SR. Because you're giving up pleasure, which is very, very, and again, I have to keep stressing this because some of us don't understand how difficult this shit is. And you're downplaying yourself when this shit's really fucking difficult. Women are gonna understand. So don't go telling them. But they'll sense it, they'll know. Other people will sense it too. But it's not something you can really brag about. You have to do it for you. Honestly, the gym too and eating, the shit I do now, it's not for women. It can't be because there's no way. Very few of us can do it unless it's from a genuine sense of alignment. Not, oh, I just want this chick. Damn, I just want bitch. No, it's not good enough. It's not a good enough reason. It's got to become identity instead of just I want chicks. That's really the most important paradigm shift. But the only way to build that is to go through the trials and tribulations. You have to get the urges, but let them pass. Just like your thoughts, those will pass too. Everything will pass. The bad will pass, and the good will pass. Everything is innately, temporary, which is relieving, but also a little sad because you recognize, the good moments with friends are also temporary, but then the bad moments you have with yourself, other people, are also temporary. So there's this nice duality, a balance with those things and that perspective. But yeah, that's day 122. Day 123 tomorrow. Stay tuned for that video. All right.